Hello and welcome. My name is Peter Alagona and I am a faculty member in the Environmental Studies program. I'm also the instructor for this course, ES1. I want to welcome all of you to ES1, and I especially want to welcome those of you who are first-year students to UCSB here into this class and into our campus community. I know this isn't what you'd expected, and I know it isn't what any of us had hoped for, but here we are. It's my goal this quarter to try to make this the most enriching and positive and supportive learning experience that we can possibly achieve given the limitations that we have here under the current conditions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to talk more about the pandemic a little bit later in the quarter. For now, what I want to do is just tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about the course, and start to prepare you for the activities and assignments that are going to be coming up in the near future. First, maybe a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm a faculty member here in the Environmental Studies program. This is my 11th year on campus. Before coming to UCSB, I did my undergraduate degree at Northwestern University in Chicago, and I worked at UCLA, Harvard, and Stanford before arriving here at UCSB in 2009. Since then, I've been a member of the Environmental Studies program. I've also been a member of the History department as well, and I'm an affiliate in the Geography department too. My research focuses on the relationships between humans and wildlife, in particular focusing on endangered species, recovery, conservation, rewilding, and other issues having to do with the preservation of biodiversity and wild species in the 21st century. I've been teaching this course, ES1, on and off for about the past 8 years or so. During that time, I've learned a lot. I've learned what not to do, and I've learned what to do largely from feedback from my TAs and students. We're fortunate to have a tremendous teaching staff here, and they're going to be of great help to us as we move forward over the course of the quarter. You should do everything you can to get to know your TA. Your TAs are full of wisdom, full of insight, and they can help you in many different ways. The TAs are not only helpful, they're the ones that manage the enrollments for this course, and they're also the ones who do all the grading, including assigning your final grade. If you have questions about the course, you should approach them first after you've read the syllabus and the other materials. You should approach them, ask them, and I'm always happy to do whatever I can to clarify any matters or to answer any substantive questions you might have. Let's talk a little bit about the course itself. ES1 is the Introductory Environmental Studies course. It's the first course in the 3-quarter series. ES1 is offered each fall. It's also offered during the summertime. ES2 is the second course in the series. It focuses on the natural sciences, the biophysical sciences, scientific approaches to environmental studies. ES3, which is offered in the spring, focuses on the social sciences and also humanities and what they can do to contribute to our knowledge of the environment and people's relationships with it. The purpose of this introductory series is to provide you with a broad introduction to environmental studies as a field, and also to help to prepare you for further more advanced coursework in the future. As you may know, the Environmental Studies program at UCSB is one of the largest, one of the oldest, and one of the most highly regarded programs of its kind in the country. We started here in 1970, in part as a response to the 1969 oil spill here in Santa Barbara. And since then, the program has graduated, I think around 7,000 environmental studies students. And we currently have over 1,000 registered majors in the program. So hopefully, when we can get back here to campus in person sometime soon, you'll have an opportunity to meet or to reunite with your friends and colleagues, to get to know the ES program much better, and to participate in all the activities and opportunities that we have to offer on our amazing, beautiful campus and in our campus community. What about ES1 as a course? Right now, I'm going to go over the syllabus. If you have not yet downloaded the syllabus, you should get online right now and do so. Get a copy for yourself and follow along. I just want to tell you a little bit about what to expect. If you turn to page 2 of the syllabus, it explains to you about some of the basics. There will be no synchronous lectures in this course. Instead of lectures, I will post weekly videos, just like this one that we're recording here right now. The weekly videos will all be available to you at the latest by noon on Friday, and perhaps earlier, depending on when I'm able to record them on Thursday or Friday morning of that week. You'll attend your discussion sections, your regularly scheduled discussion sections, and during the sections, your TA will break you up into small groups that we're calling pods. In those small groups, you'll do exercises that are related to the weekly assignments. Your grade for this course is based on 8 weekly assignments. There are no exams. There is also no textbook. All of the materials you need for the course and that you need to complete the 8 weekly assignments will be available to you either as links within the assignments themselves or as direct documents or links on Gaucho Space. I'm going to hold my office hours by Zoom from 9 to 10:30 a.m. on Tuesdays. If you want to attend, simply click on the Zoom link that you have on your syllabus or at the top of the Gaucho Space course website and join the discussion. If you'd like to schedule a private meeting with me, you can join that discussion and then request a private meeting, and we'll find a time when we can do that. Generally, I'll try to do that during the time when the lectures would normally be scheduled because that's when many people have their time available. Of the 8 weekly assignments, we obviously don't have one this week. This is week 0. The weekly assignments will begin next week, week 1. We'll have weekly assignments for the first several weeks. Then you'll have Thanksgiving week off, and you'll also have week 10 off. During Thanksgiving week, there will be no weekly assignment. During week 10, you'll have an opportunity to make up any leftover assignments that you either did not complete or completed with an unsatisfactory grade. The grading scheme for this class will be really simple, unlike in years past where we were assigning points that equated to letter grades. This time, if you complete all 8 assignments satisfactorily, you'll get an A. If you do so for 7, you'll get a B, 6, you'll get a C, and 5 or below, you'll get an F. Your TA also may give you a plus or a minus, so you may get a satisfactory minus or a satisfactory plus. If you get an S minus, that means you are barely over the bar and you need to improve your work in order to ensure that you won't get an unsatisfactory or U grade in the next assignment. If you get an S plus, that means you're doing great. You should keep doing more of the same thing. If you get several S minuses, then you may be bumped down a third of a letter grade, for example, from a B to a B minus. If you get several S pluses, you may be bumped up a third of a letter grade, for example, from an A to an A plus. The idea of simplifying the grading in this way is to provide you with every opportunity to do well in this course, regardless of what your personal situation is at home during this quarter, and to give you an opportunity to improve over the course of the quarter in a way that could significantly help your grade. You have a golden opportunity here to get a very high grade in this class if you do the work. There will be a lot to keep you busy, but if you do it, you'll do well. Each student is signed up for a discussion section. You must stay in that section. Your TA in that section will provide you with a link to join the Zoom discussion section meetings. Once in the meetings during most regular weeks, your TA will send you into a breakout group, and that will be your pod. You'll stay with the same pod throughout the quarter, unless we learn something about the pods that makes us want to change them. But as of now, you'll stay in the same pod throughout the quarter. For the weekly assignments, what you'll do is you'll complete part of the weekly assignment at home on your own. You'll do all the readings, you'll watch all the videos, you'll listen to the podcasts, you'll consume all the multimedia materials, and then you'll answer the individual questions or solo questions on your assignment. You'll come into your discussion section, and in the section, in the pod groups, you'll answer the pod questions. You'll write down the answers to those questions in your own words. You'll compile the solo questions and the pod questions into a single document, that'll be your assignment, and then you'll submit that document via Gaucho Space to your TA by no later than noon on Thursday. At noon on Thursday, the assignment window closes and you will no longer be able to submit an assignment after that date and time. We have a number of policies for this class that I want you to be aware of. For crashing this year, we're using the official wait list. I've sent out a number of messages about that. You should all understand by now what the policy is around crashing. You must attend all of your discussion sections so that you can participate in all of the pods. If you're in the Disabled Students Program, please let your TA know as soon as possible. Make sure you're signed up with the DSP officially so that if you need any special accommodations, which will probably be less common this quarter given our structure and the fact that we don't have any exams, but still, if you need special accommodations, we'll do everything in our power to work with you on that. Please make sure that your email is correct and up to date in the university email system. We'll be communicating with you a lot through email this quarter because we won't be seeing you in person. It's important that you have your accurate email in the system and that when we send you a message, whether it's from me or from your TA, you read it carefully and follow the instructions. That'll help you navigate the course, it'll reduce your amount of work, and allow you to focus on the substantive material, the material that we want you to engage with and that we want you to learn from. We maintain a zero tolerance policy for all instances of academic dishonesty. Please keep that in mind when you're doing your assignments. And ES1 is a collaborative learning environment. That's important every quarter, but it's especially important this quarter. Throughout this quarter, you're going to be meeting with other students in small groups. You're going to be talking about some subjects that are pretty heavy. We've got real issues. We've got big environmental problems that we're dealing with. And those big environmental problems have complex social causes and consequences. These subjects could be difficult to think about, could be difficult to reckon with, could be difficult to talk about. It's essential that within your small group pod discussions that you maintain an atmosphere of respect and civility. This is absolutely crucial for this course. If someone makes a mistake or says something wrong or even potentially offensive, the best thing to do is to gently correct that person or to ask questions in response that can turn a difficult situation into a learning opportunity. Think about this as you think about how you want to interact with your colleagues and how you can get the most out of the course. Please make every effort to maintain the civil, respectful, and supportive learning environment that we try to cultivate here in this class. I'd like to reiterate some of the main points that I just mentioned based on the email I sent out the other day. First of all, please remember that TAs handle all student services and grading for this course. If you have a question, the first thing you should do is read the syllabus, read the materials. If you still have the question, ask your TA, and then I'm happy to fill in if necessary. All the materials for the course are available online on Gaucho Space or on your weekly assignments. You don't need to purchase any other books, any textbooks, everything is there for you. All crashing for ES1 will be handled through the waitlist. You should be on the waitlist. If you are able to get a spot through the waitlist, you'll be notified by Friday of week 1. After that, the waitlist will close and the crashing period will end. That's on Friday of week 1. There'll be no synchronous lectures for this course, but you are required to attend your discussion sections because your discussion sections will be the spaces in which you meet with your small groups or pods so that you can complete your weekly assignments and get credit for doing so. Your TA will provide you with a Zoom link for these weekly discussion sections. Your TA will also be sending you a welcome message within the next day with this link and with other information that you need to know about the discussion section and about your responsibilities for the quarter. Here's what you should do now. If you have not already gotten online and downloaded the syllabus and the first weekly assignment, you should do that now. The first weekly assignment is much like the other assignments will be, with the exception that the first weekly assignment does not have a small group or pod component. Instead of having the pods in the week 1 discussion section, that's next week, you'll meet with your TA will introduce him or herself, you'll have a chance to experiment with what it's like to go into a small breakout group, and you'll introduce yourself to your pod members. You won't have any questions to answer. The questions will start the following week, week 2, with weekly assignment number 2. Let's talk about weekly assignment number 1. Weekly assignment number 1 asks you to consider the deep historical roots and contexts of our current environmental crises. To complete weekly assignment number 1, you should first download and read the assignment's instructions, then read, watch, or listen to all of the activities listed on the weekly assignment. For weekly assignment number 1, you have 6 activities. The activities are listed as 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, and 1F. 1 refers to weekly assignment number 1, and A is the actual activity. For example, for 1A, you need to read a chapter from a book called The Shock of the Anthropocene, pages 12 to 21 in this book. For activity 1B, you need to watch a documentary film. The film is called Anthropocene, the Human Epic. On your assignment, it gives you instructions for how to access both the reading and the film free online in a streaming format. You should go ahead and do both of those and then continue on until you finish all 6 of the activities. The activities, as I mentioned before, are a mix of different kinds of things. readings, podcasts sometimes, videos, films. All of them are meant to provide you with different perspectives on a single big important topic. As I said, the theme of weekly assignment number 1 is the deep historical roots and current social context of our many environmental problems. After you complete the activities, you should then go ahead and answer the solo questions. In all weeks after this week, there will be solo and pod questions. This week, though, remember, there are only solo questions. For this week, you have 5 solo questions. In order to get a satisfactory grade, you have to answer all 5 of the questions in a clear, coherent, and compelling way. Your answers must include a thesis. What is a thesis? A thesis is an answer to the question you're being asked. If you're being asked the question, what is the Anthropocene? Then you must provide a clear answer to that question. In addition to the thesis, you should provide several details from your readings or from the other activities for the week to describe why your thesis makes sense, to fill out some of the context and some of the details, and to give a fuller picture so that you provide a clear, compelling, and complete answer. Your answers should be in the neighborhood of 1 to 2 paragraphs per question. And so that means if you have 5 questions, you're talking about anywhere from 5 to 10 paragraphs. The assignment should probably take you several hours. I'm guessing that it'll probably take you between 5 and 6 hours total from the beginning of when you do it until the end when you finish it. That includes meeting with your pod, it includes watching the film, and it includes doing the readings and answering the questions. The first week might take you a little bit longer than that. That's okay. Leave time for it, figure it out, and ask your TA if you have any questions. One of the main goals of this course is to cultivate critical thinking skills. Under normal circumstances, one of the ways we do that is to have group discussions in your discussion sections and to have your TAs give you additional feedback. That's hard to do this quarter, isn't it? Because we're not meeting in person. So how are we going to do that? One of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to rely on you. In your small groups, we want you to come prepared and we want you to contribute, both by listening to your colleagues and by offering your own thoughts. When you watch the films or when you read the materials, underline, highlight, take notes. Read the questions from the weekly assignment first, read them while you're doing the readings and watching the films, and then read them again afterward. Come into this from an active perspective and try to think critically about the arguments that are being advanced in these materials, about the details that are being revealed or that are being described that try to advance the argument that's either in the film or the reading or the podcast. And then try to think about how you can best answer the questions that are given you based on the active way in which you consumed the materials. If you do that, you should do well. During the first week or two, your TAs are going to be giving you a little bit more feedback than they might give you a little bit later in the quarter. The purpose of that is to make sure that you know that you're on the right track, or if you're on the wrong track, to give you a little nudge back into the middle. Hopefully this will help you to think about how you're doing, where you want to go, to set your goals for the grade you want, and hopefully to do really well in this course. This is a really tough time. We're all dealing with different challenges. As I said on the syllabus, we're all in the same storm, but many of us are in different boats. We realize that many of you are dealing with difficult challenges in your life during these challenging days. I know I am. We want to help you to succeed in this course in any way we can. The way we've done that is to provide a simple structure, to provide a clear set of rules, and to offer you whatever we can in terms of care, in terms of support, and in terms of helping you grow and succeed. I would like nothing more than being able to give out 485 A's this quarter. Let's see how close we can get. My office hours will begin next week. I'd love to see you in there. Come and join me if you can. If not, then I'll see you again next week for another weekly video about this length that'll be posted before noon on Friday. Thanks so much. I'm glad you're in ES1. Good luck this quarter. I hope to see you in office hours. I also hope to eventually meet you in person.